Okay, so right now let's talk about why the market moves and slippage, because both of them are correlated. So let's look into it. How does the market move? Well, how does anything in finance move? It's actually supply and demand. The price of anything is determined by how much the world is willing to pay for it. And this is a basic supply and demand chart. And that basically means, this is an overcomplication, but let's make an example. Let's say that I have this phone. This is an iPhone 15 Pro. And let's say that I ask you, this is used, let's say that I ask you $10,000 for it. Would you accept it? Would you take it? No. So I can try to sell this for $10,000, but I'm not going to sell it. So there's not going to be any transaction. So what is going to happen? I will have to reduce my price until there is someone that is willing to buy. So let's say I put my order to sell this iPhone for $5,000. Well, no one buys it. Okay, $2,000. So notice how I'm already reducing my price because there is no demand. Then I have to keep reducing it. But what about the opposite? What if I tell that I give you this authentic 15 Pro used, great condition iPhone for $100? Everyone that is watching this right now would buy this. Why? Because it is a great, amazing offer. So there's going to be huge demand to buy this product, but there's not enough quantity for me to sell this for $100. And so I have to increase my price so that supply, which is the amount of product that I have, meets the demand. And that is where those two intercept. And that is why Apple sells these for more than $1,000, because people are willing to pay $1,000 for it. Because let me tell you, if no one buys iPhones, Apple is going to reduce the price, yet still everyone buys them. Now, the same thing happens in the FX market. But why is it that in the FX market, it's such small differences? Because the FX market is a $6 trillion market every single day. $6 trillion worth of transactions go through the market, which means that every day $6 trillion worth of volume / transactions are placed. That's why the market moves so smooth. And we are able to have good spreads on major pairs because they are very liquid. Exotic pairs are less volume being traded, and that's why you see much bigger spreads. Why? Because there is less supply, meaning less people wanting to buy or sell. That's why they're exotic pairs. While euro and dollar, which make euro dollar, everyone is constantly trading the euro and the dollar. So there's constantly transactions, which means there's a lot of supply and there's a lot of demand. So that's why the market moves quite smooth. And why? Think about the previous lesson on spreads. Because there's less people buying and selling. It's more illiquid. So how is this visualized? This is visualized through an order book, which is what you're seeing right now on the charts. So this is the order book for Bitcoin. And I took this screenshot not long ago, so who knows where Bitcoin is at right now when you're watching this. But what you can see right here on the order book is basically the price, the amount of BTC offered in these orders, so how many buys and how many sells are in orders, and the total of dollars that amounts to. So if you see price right now, the closest buyer is at $66,432, and the amount of Bitcoin that people want to buy at that price is 7.73 Bitcoin. While sellers, they are only selling 0.23 Bitcoin at $66,432. Now, what does this mean? Well, the reason I'm showing you this is because this is how the market moves. So if a lot of people are now starting to buy Bitcoin, notice how there's no Bitcoin available to purchase. On the sell side, there's basically no Bitcoin being transacted, to the point that you can see it all the way up to 66,438, and there's still not even a full Bitcoin to sell. So if you want to buy one whole Bitcoin, you are going to make price move up because you're taking all of these sell orders. So now there's no more supply to meet the demand of you wanting to buy. Now let's think about this. What is slippage? Well, slippage is the fact that if you buy 10 Bitcoin right here with this order book, there's going to be a huge spike to meet your demand, so in order to fill your whole order. So let's quickly go onto Binance and see it. Okay, so now I have changed this into just $100 increments, and this is easier to understand. So let's say that right now I want to buy 150 Bitcoin. What is going to happen in price in this chart? pause the video and tell me what is going to happen right now. I'm going to take all of these orders all the way up to 63,000. So there would be a huge spike in price and I would have what is called slippage. Because I wanted to buy it at 61,100, why was I filled at 62,000? Well, because the market took all of the available orders until the final order was met. And that is basically how slippage works. Now, when does the slippage happen? Well, slippage happens before, just before, and during high impact news events, and then during rollover. Why? Because, again, supply and demand. There are no people buying or selling at the current price, so you are going to be filled where you are not expecting to be filled. It's literally all about supply and demand. Where can price fill all of your orders, or where can price dump all of your orders? And let me tell you that slippage basically happens on market orders. They don't happen on limit orders, because when you are entering in a limit order, you are waiting for someone to take your limit order, right? You are going to be on the order book, while when you're doing the market order, you are taking the orders from the order book. And that is basically how the market moves. That's how simple we can keep it. But again, that is how the market moves. That's how finance moves. That's how the world moves. Understand that when you are buying, someone is selling. And because of that, the market has to move either up or down. And that is how we do it at the Simple Trading Edge. We understand everything and we keep it simple. If you have any questions, leave it in the Discord.